How's that?
No.
It doesn't make a difference, dude. That's not picking anything up.
Oh, 'cause it's coming from the...
Yeah, it is coming from yours as well, Rob.
Okay. I should go sit in the hallway.
You can sit in the bed if you want.
No, I'll go to sleep.
Oh, this is possibly the weirdest recording I've ever been part of.
How's that for an echo? I can actually hear that laughing coming through the wall.
Oh God, I'm so glad that was recording.
That was the door just made that, didn't it?
Are you comfy out there, Rob?
I am. You have very comfy carpets.
Right. Are we ready to go?
I think we are.
I think we're in the right mind frame.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, dear listeners. Once again, you have found yourselves slip-sliding through the watery world of the old oil house. It's like a Wet and Wild, but nowhere near as wet and twice as wild. Or vice versa. Your mileage may vary. With me today are two men that are men, manly men made by men for men with men. Man in Can. Men in Kens? No. Man in Can, so to speak. First up is my beautiful, lovely assistant. It's Rob. It's...
KSMV. I'm currently sat in a hallway.
Yes, you are. My hallway. Oh, this is one of the strangest recording sessions I've ever been a part of. But we also have a special guest with us this evening for...
Who is it?
Well, if you wait 2 seconds, you'll find out.
Oh, but I'm impatient.
I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to slow down the talking as much as possible. It's King Grimmy!
Hello! How is everyone? Yes, it's me. I'm here. Finally on this show, like properly.
I think this is actually the first time you've ever been on a lock-in, isn't it?
Well, other than the one that won't be mentioned and a comic review, no, I've never been on your show.
Yeah, that's right. You were on one of the round tables for Drift, I want to say. Or was it
Ironhide?
Ironhide, yeah.
That's right. I'm so glad you two got to do Drift. So very,
You
very...
didn't like that, did you?
I don't like Drift.
Well, no, I mean, there's a certain level of Mary Sue about old Drift. New Drift's good.
Oh, New Drift's fantastic. I love New Drift.
Hippie Drift.
Yeah, because he's got a character and a personality and everything.
Yeah, you're not just told you're supposed to like him. He actually is kind of awesome.
He doesn't feel like he was made by Rob Liefeld in the 90s.
His chest was nowhere near big enough to be a 90s creation.
Well, true enough, but the basic generics of the character are the very same.
Oh yeah.
He is cool. He is tortured. He doesn't talk much. Ah, 90s angst. Ah,
Swords. He turns into a drift car because they're still cool, aren't they?
I'm so cool. Look, I might as well have Wolverine blades. Rah, snickety snick.
Oh, well, that would be awesome, because you wouldn't just encompass a character of Wolverine very well.
Sorry, I went a bit fanboyish there, didn't I?
I really feel that from now on I'm just going to use the word "get in the hole," Rob. Get in the hole. But we're here not to talk about Drift or Ironhide or any IDW comic as such, but IDW I feel may get mentioned during this show. For we're going to now have a little retrospect, a little thought on the AA this year. Mostly because we did record a lock-in, and it's fairly unusable for both sound, noise, and it could be used as evidence in a court of law.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody wants that to happen. We've got Matt here because Matt's going to be able to give us a completely different view of AA. Mine is pretty much going to be, here are some cool things, and then the white-hot fear began. And I think Rob is going to be able to give us lots of very interesting things from talking to people, and Matt's going to be able to tell us things from the seller's point of view and how it went for them this year. So we'll start off with a bit of an overview. Rob,
Yes.
your overview thoughts on AA this year. What stands out? What's the first thing that springs to mind when I say, Rob, what do you think of AA this year?
A certain interview we did, because that was kind of fucking awesome.
Yes, it hasn't come out yet.
No. But look forward to it when it does.
Yes.
Um,
Ooh, who did you talk to? Who did you talk to? Who did you talk to?
we talked to James Roberts.
Ooh.
He's a very, very intelligent man.
He's a scarily intelligent man.
Yeah,
he comes across
basically
as
made us
somewhere
all-
between a beach bum and a ninja.
Yes, very, very good description. He kind of made us all feel stupid.
He has a habit of doing that. Best is to interview him and Nick together. They're kind of they're the balance of the scales.
Well, no. He was happy that he got the personal treatment, whereas Nick was only allowed
right.
on via Skype.
Yes, and from what I hear, Nick wants to make a return to our shitty little podcast to be able to
Redeem himself.
to be able to get one up.
His words.
Oh yeah, his words.
No, tell the story, Adam. When you were talking to him,
Which one? Which story?
the rivalry.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was just when I mentioned that we'd had Roberts on, and the fact that Robert seemed to enjoy being on our shitty little podcast. First thing that happened was Nick just going, "I actually said that, didn't I? I said that on social media, didn't I?" Yes, Nick. Yes, you did.
If I remember your gestures when you were telling the story, you were feeling all proud at the fact that he'd said that.
Yep. I was sitting there just going, "Haha, Nick. Yeah. The war is on." Speaking of wars, by the way, I do feel that it's time to tell everybody that Matt here is a lovely, lovely man who there isn't a single bad thing I could ever say about, and in no way does he have any problems with his genitalia.
We haven't actually recorded a show yet for me to give you an apology to stop this craziness.
I know.
There was also the wonderful thing at AA of Adam recounting something that happened between him, Andy, and Mikey whilst they were sharing a room. And the fact that he's giggling like this now just kind of shows you what sort of a state he was in when this originally happened. As I understand it, they were sharing a room. Two of them were sleeping on beds, one was sleeping on the floor. And apparently when it was Andy's turn to sleep on the floor, he apparently got up in the sleeping bag, which covers his head as well as his body, and started shuffling along going rape, 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 rape. So he became the rape snail.
It was the moment where he turned round to Mikey, looked him stare in the eyes, and just went, "In 2.5 years, I will have you."
Oh, that's very specific.
As he just slowly started crawling across the floor. I don't think I've ever laughed as much as I did at that point.
This is the first AA I haven't woken up with somebody at the end of my bed. which is quite nice.
I like to think that
I think it's the last 2 or 3 years running I've woken up and there's normally like an Irishman or two sleeping at the bottom of my bed or on the floor, normally spooning. It's you sort of wake up and go, that wasn't there when I woke up. Is this part of the housekeeping? Clean my shoes.
Oh, the idea that Irishmen to you are shoe shine guys. Or possibly dogs.
It's a little bit racist, is it not?
potatoes?
We'll shine it right up for you there. A weaponized potato. Matt,
Yes.
a brief overview of AA from your point of view this year, please.
Wow, it was quick.
Yeah, it really was.
This year seemed really quick. I mean, fair dues, we were there probably 48 hours, but we didn't really stop.
Yeah.
And because of a couple of things that happened, we lost a few hours where we could have been socializing. But we had to go and actually do things like eat. So yeah, everything seemed to just go very, very quickly this year. The boss said in the van on the way back, it's like, it doesn't feel like 10 minutes ago we were in the van driving to the convention. But overall, it was a much happier convention, I think, all round than last year's in particular. There was a better air about the place, both in terms of cleanliness of air and enjoyment factor. Everyone seemed a lot more upbeat.
Yeah, I saw there was a few things on Facebook of people saying on the Saturday night that they weren't feeling the vibe. Was it the Saturday night or was it the Friday night?
Friday night was fairly guff.
Yeah, I think it was actually the Friday night, thinking about it, that a lot of people on the Friday night weren't feeling the vibe, the atmosphere that they usually got. And I remember seeing that and going, really? Because right now I'm surrounded on a table by people that I would love to see more often, and I am crying with laughter. So I wonder how much of that was just people who didn't, I don't want to say didn't have a group to go to, because that's not AA. You find a group and then you get
attach
inserted
yourself to it.
Yeah. Whether you want to or not.
Friday night, nothing really kicked off until fairly late, though, did it? I mean, you had the events that were going on of the actual convention, and then things just died for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then people started to make interesting noises again. But I think Saturday kind of started and at 8 o'clock in the morning and didn't really let up. And I think that enthusiasm and that joy carried over into Sunday as well.
Oh, very much so. I mean, I know that you guys were away quite early on Sunday, weren't you? About Sunday.
Yeah, about 6 o'clock. I think we hit the road.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't the Friday night when a mass group went for the curry?
Yes.
Yeah. So
big group went for curry. Big group went for Chinese.
Yeah, that may have been something to do with people saying not feeling the atmosphere because a big mass of the attendees disappeared for a couple of hours.
You make a very good point there, actually.
But I did actually hit the point this year where, well, I mean, to give you a rough overview of my emotional roller coaster of AA this year, Friday I was sat there going, actually, I don't want to be here. For the last couple of weeks, I hadn't really been enjoying the build-up.
Yeah.
I wasn't really excited by it, and to be honest, I could have thought of other things to do with my money and time. And I was feeling very negative. And then on the Friday night, after I'd said goodnight to you guys and let you do your craziness, I got a text from my mate telling me that he's getting married, which is great news.
Hey.
He's getting married on the Saturday of AA 2014.
Ah.
And now then I thought to myself, that's not that bad. He lives in Birmingham. Right. No, he's getting married in Suffolk. So you can imagine how I was feeling at that point. But it instantly made me go, right, well, how am I going to do AA next year? Well, I'll come down on the Friday, drive down on the Friday, set up, leave a late Friday night, do the wedding Saturday, and drive down Sunday morning to do close-up, and I'll stay over Sunday night, maybe into Monday, for a bit of Monday. And as I started to work it out, I actually realised I do want to be here. I am enjoying myself, and I am seeing my friends, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
And the thought I'm not going to be there for Saturday next year unless I have a major falling out with my mate, which is still a possibility.
It depends how much you want to be there for the Saturday night next year.
It's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, man.
I mean, how selfish can a man be? But it really made me want to take more enthusiasm to the party, as it were, and be more involved. And having gone to bed at 11 o'clock on the Friday night, which I don't normally do at AA, 3 o'clock rolled round on the Saturday night. I was like, actually, I could do was going to bed, and I wanted to stay up. Which is the first, because I wanted to see people, I wanted to talk to people. And another, and then where the encouragement also came from as well is over the course of those 48 hours, we would have been in the convention for the equivalent of 7 meals. And we had 3.
Sounds about right.
For one reason or another. And it wasn't the normal, we've only had a bite to eat and we're really narky. It was actually, admittedly, a couple of the reasons why it made it fairly narky, but the convention itself, or the atmosphere of the convention itself, made it better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my general whittling overview.
Myself, I would say that this year was probably one of the better organised. A lot of things seem, from my point of view anyway, seem to flow a lot nicer. And now that could literally be because as the years have gone on and I've been to AA more and more and more, I do less and less of the panel side of it, or the... I don't want to say the convention itself, because that sounds like I'm just going, I'm snubbing the convention, which isn't the case, but as the years have gone on, it has become more of a meet-up for me, catching up with people that I haven't seen all year, people I haven't spoken to on Skype, and less about the convention itself. So from where I stand, the stuff that I did want to see, it all seemed to go off without a hitch. Until Sunday morning, where everything appeared to fall apart, and you just saw Wallace wandering the halls with a haunted look in his eyes.
I think it was perfect. The build-up, something I can give you from the dealer's point of view, is Saturday morning. It was really like, we're counting down. We're going to be open at this time. We're doing our volunteer go shopping now. They've got half an hour, and we will open exactly on time. Everything's going, and like really pumped energy. Boom, 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 boom. Sunday morning, it was like, yeah, we're opening in a couple of minutes. We're a bit late. Yeah. It's just like the whole convention, the actual convention itself was hungover. Yeah, I had that feeling.
Yeah, because none of the artists or anything turned up in the morning, did they?
Well, the artists, bless them, all worked themselves to death.
Oh, completely.
Just unbelievable levels of work that they did. I speaking to them and seeing them as we left, they were just so tired, and it's almost they'd taken a lot on. And as for Alex and Andrew being their first conventions as well, I'm not sure they realised just how much was going to be involved with them talking to people and time spent on that, as well as the social aspects and stuff like that. It's didn't see Alex and Andrew on Saturday night.
No, they were just far too busy.
Yeah, everyone was, and they were really busy. So, I hope they're both recovered.
Well, there's a fun story about poor Mr. Milne Saturday night. If we think, should we share this one, Rob?
I
think we should.
I spoke to them at breakfast on the Sunday, and I worked out what was going on.
Well, on the Saturday night, we tried to record a lock-in. It didn't work as such because of one thing and another. We'll just leave it at that. Got a little bit noisy. Well, we didn't realise at the time that poor Mr. Milne was right next door. He didn't hear everybody's voices, though. He only heard one voice, shrieking into the night. He heard the voice of his personal Irish nemesis. He heard the voice of Mikey. I have never in my lifetime sat with a mixture of dread and utter joy when being told that news.
The exact words, or I paraphrase, is, if I wasn't only in my boxers, I would have knocked on the door and said, "What the hell, man?" Alex, you should have anyway.
There might be a show going up if that was the case. It would have been the perfect way to end it, being beaten to death by a Canadian.
In his pants.
In his pants. Love you, Alex. Don't hit us.
We're so sorry.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
If we sacrifice Mikey, will it placate you?
We'll send him over in pieces to you.
Mustache first.
But I imagine that'll actually cost quite a bit in postage.
It's true. It is a big, big mustache. Or at least it need a lot of packaging. Okay then. So then I'm going to move on to things that you've acquired this weekend. Mr. Rob, give me 3 of your favourite things that you acquired over the convention last weekend.
Now you're asking.
Wow, you got some.
First thing I would say is
sorry,
new friends.
I've just remembered you're in my hall. Sorry, I'd actually forgotten that, and I've just remembered it right now.
Have you just gone, oh, what's that noise outside?
I was staring at the window there, and I just went, hang on, Rob's in my hall, like. Weirdest recording I have ever been a part of. Sorry, dude, carry on.
Got some new friends.
Yes, we did.
Which was very, very strange, but, it was fun.
Did they come boxed?
It's just rubbish.
No, they were unboxed. They were just loose.
They were all loose. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't pay anything for them. Mr. Adam White just came and plunked them down at the table. Basically said, "Here, play with these." So, they're all right. Articulation wasn't bad. Wasn't too sure about the mould because they kind of had this instilled look of fear which just wouldn't leave. But no.
Did they come from a smoke and pet free home?
I'm not sure. I didn't actually check. I'm too busy trying to calm them down. Say it's okay. We're not going to kill you. Adam might nibble a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine. He does that.
He says as I'm nibbling on Rob.
But no, it was
like candy if persons were a candy.
It's very, very weird for me, anyways, for AA to come back and find that I've got friend requests waiting on Facebook. 'Cause it's usually me who goes home and finds people that I've talked to and everything, and then get to know them. Whereas this year it was like I had like 3 or 4 friend requests waiting as soon as I got home, which is quite nice. Second thing I would have to say probably be my Springer, because he is a damn fine figure.
Fuck you.
It's a little out of proportion for the rest of the line, but damn, he's nice. Really, really nice. And I'm going to have to hide him on a higher shelf, because as soon as I put him on a shelf, Neve just kind of stared at him and pointed and went, "Car?" Yes, he changes into a car, but no, you're not playing with him. Here, play with your mummy's wheeljack. But, yeah. Now, I'm torn for my third thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got some incredibly awesome art. But I also got a better understanding of a few people. Which, yeah, I'm going to go with getting to know Mikey and Andy a lot better this year. Obviously, we travelled down in the car with Andy and all his stuff. Yeah, just meeting up with Mikey, basically getting to chat with them quite a lot, and Tricky to an extent as well. Because on the Saturday night after the shitstorm that was the lock-in,
Mm-hmm.
Adam just basically asked me if I wanted to have a coffee. So I thought he was going to go down to the bar for a coffee, but we went back to his room and we just started chatting. And then I think Andy and Tricky came in, and we all had an incredibly honest discussion. It's very, very weird considering how much, especially me and Adam had drank. But no, it was really, really nice. Just in the midst of all this craziness, just have a a sit down and just really kind of talk and get to know each other. And obviously talking quite a lot with Mikey throughout the weekend. It was really cool just to get to know everyone better. So they're my 3 top things from AA.
I like it. Only one of those was a toy. That's.
As I say, I would have gone for the art, but I decided to go for, the actual making better friends, shall we say, rather than new friends.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Mr. Matthew Messenger.
Wow, I'm going to say I'm shallow now, aren't I?
It's fine. If you want, I can go first and just say, well, the first thing is I got an Alex Milne Firecon picture, which I fucking love, and it is beautiful, and oh my God, it is so goddamn sexy. The second thing that I got, which really made me happy, is a signed Margaret Scott Rage of the Dinobots with the rage crossed out, and it just says Sadness of the Dinobots, which makes me... Oh, I was speechless. I was left speechless when I was presented with that. It's amazing. And thirdly, weirdly enough, it's something akin to what Rob was saying there. This year gave me a large boost in, not self-confidence, but it gave me a good grounding, to be honest with you. I'm a very fortunate man who is surrounded by very, very good people. And that is something I'm going to be very grateful for probably the rest of my life. I won't go into it any more than that, but that is my third thing from the year. So now we'll go to Matt, to make him seem even more shallow.
Yeah. Toys, 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 toys.
I got Sadness of the Dinobots.
Well, first off, I got my yearly care package from Amy, because she has to keep me entertained. So that was various Creo and the a beautiful print and the Machine Wars Termination comic. Stay tuned to the Underbase where me and Gruffy go, what's the point in this?
Oh God, I take it you've read it now.
Oh dear me.
I looked at it whilst at AA, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I looked at
There's
AA,
nothing to spoil.
and I thought to myself, you know something? The way this looks, this could be the best one we've had so far.
Yeah.
Probably is still the best one we had so far.
No, animated one.
Oh yeah, of course, and the G2.
Well, no, it's animated. But there's a reason why I own the animated one still.
Yeah,
2 copies of it. No, this one, just unless you know the world that it's in, is just completely pointless. So why put it on the shelves?
We'll talk about that in 3 months' time.
Yeah, around late November, early December. Once the Diamond Select one hits the shelves.
Yeah, of course.
And then I got a Masterpiece Acid Storm, which was a gift for working my tail off, which was very, very sweet of the man that gave it to me.
That's pretty cool, man.
So really cool of him. Really good. Out of nowhere as well. Yeah, so that was lovely. And I should really say something that isn't shallow, but I'm torn between going with so many Creo my eyes could fall out, or Hexatron because it's amazing. Yeah. No, I think I'll go with the awareness that actually I'm not having a crap time at AA, because I can think of worse things to do, like go to a wedding. I didn't say that.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Just before AA, where I had some Creo, and after AA, where I'm having to build shelves out of Lego to put the Creo on, I've got to say this. I fucking love Creo.
I would never have guessed.
I must have spent about 10 hours just building the combiners over the last week, because as soon as you get the 4 combiners, the 4 guys on the combiner, you go, yeah, that's fine, but let's introduce the 5th guy and make it look more G1.
Yay!
So each combiner must have taken me at least an hour, if not 2. Just changing bits around, making things a little bit different. Oh, how are we going to incorporate Blastoff into Bruticus? Oh, brilliant. It's the most fun I've had with Transformers for an age, and it looks like Hasbro are killing the line.
Yeah, that upsets me. But it's all right,
Are
I've got a
they,
plan.
they're getting rid of the Creos.
It's kind of looking likely. I mean, the only thing that's been announced other than last year, the only thing that was announced other than the new micro changes and the combiners was the command base with all the light up features.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no sign of that at BotCon or SDCC this year. And the only thing that's been announced after Wave 3 of the micro changes and Wave 2 of the combiners is the custom ones.
Yeah.
Where you basically get Optimus Prime, Megatron, Soundwave, and Starscream with a load of parts, which is like armor and weapons, and it's just a load of guff.
Although I do have a plan. Because apparently my local Morrison's has both Wave 1 and Wave 2 in, and they've been dropped to £1.50.
So just buy them all?
Yep, just going to
and
walk
then
in.
start painting?
Not even painting. I'm just going to go in, buy a box of each, rip them apart, put them into a big bits box, just rummage around in them, and then see what I can create, see which characters come out.
Well, that's the great thing about doing the combiners, is that you do end up with so many spare parts.
Oh, yes.
And you do start sitting there going, well, I've got these arms, and I've got these legs, and I've got this head and this helmet. And you start trying to build them. Like, I've got a spare Blade's head, so I've got a blue face. What other Transformers got a blue face? Right, that's where I'm starting. Boff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be as encouraged as I am by a £2 toy, but Creo is what has kept me going after everything else has lost interest completely.
I mean, I got the all these Creos, but I also got the new generations Orion Pax and Megatron. I am not a fan of those toys.
No, well, everyone's been saying the Megatron's very tight. The transformation just leads to bits looking like they're going to snap just by moving.
Yeah, completely. He just looks brittle.
Yeah, and Orion Pax looks nice in robot mode, but it's very small. And
the problem I've got with Orion is, as much as if you can get him in the right pose, he looks decent in robot mode, and there is stuff that really is quite funky in the transformation. I mean, the sections that are his legs eventually end up at his front. They move the way up the body. It is such a cool idea. But on the other hand, you look at him as a figure in himself, and do you remember when Poundland had those knockoff Robot Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
There are parts of it, and the way the plastic is, it just doesn't work for me at all. So I think I'll be sticking with the crayons, I think.
I did see a nice picture of the Orion Pax toy that Chris Carter put up on Twitter. It's Orion Pax sort of stood there, and the tagline was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there's a Masterpiece Prime behind him.
That's pretty cool.
It just kind of gave you an idea of the size difference as well, because fucking hell.
I laid the argument to you then. Would you rather have one of those deluxes, or would you rather have 6 or 7 Creos for the same price? Crayons, sorry.
Crayons. I take so much joy out of the crayons. I mean, I'm sitting here right now playing with Bludgeon. This crayon Bludgeon's amazing. I love him. He's got so much character to him, which, considering the fact that he's pretty much just a Lego man, he just exudes character. He's just so much fun. It's just a weird one. I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where over time your tastes change.
Yeah, and we seem to have just devolved.
Yeah. Well, you see, this is a really interesting idea that I came across. And here we go again. Adam now gets all sociological.
Down the rabbit hole. Follow the white rabbit.
Follow me. A lot of us all came back around about the same time. A lot of us came back into Transformers and whatnot around about the same time. And I've noticed that we're the guys who are now sort of going and not really feeling the stuff that's happening. It's like almost like a group exodus. We've all just gone, well, not really. But the guys who came in later and the guys who were, who came in with the movies and whatnot, they're still there and they've still got the fire and the passion.
But the thing is, I mean, you look back, I mean, I came back originally around 2001, 2002, but passionately around 2005.
Yeah.
And then probably like 2006. And you think about the guff that was out around that time. Armada, Energon, Cybertron. They're not good shows, and they weren't great toy lines.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of character in the Armada line.
We'll save that discussion for another time.
Mhm.
We also had things like the alternators and the start of the Masterpiece line, which is more the stuff that I imagine a lot of us came back for.
Very much so.
And then the classics kicked off in 2006, and that's what hooked us in. But the classics have we've run the course. We're 7 years down the line on that line now.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us who were there at the start are kind of like, we're doing this again?
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm sure, when I sold my classics collection last year, I had over 150 different characters on that shelf.
I can believe that.
And I was missing things like Sandstorm, like Blitzwing, like Trailbreaker, like Hoist, the ones that they're releasing now. But I just stopped caring.
Mm-hmm. As I say, I think that is kind of what it is. Because 2006 is a perfect example of, say, it is the year 2006. The classics line has just entered Wilkinson's. That's exactly it. I was cherry-picking Armada. I was cherry-picking through Energon. I barely touched Cybertron, to be honest with you. Very little I got from that. But it was the 2006 classics line that kicked everything off for me. That's when I became... I was already buying the IDW comics at the time. I was big into the Shun series at the time. I'd bought pretty much all of Dreamwave stuff. I was a big Transformers fan, but not a big toy collector, I think is the best way of putting it. I was just picking up stuff that as and when, because I liked the look of it. I wasn't completist. I wasn't looking at stuff to own shit tons of. It was just, that's Armada Megatron. He's pretty cool. Megatron attack. Excellent. But it was the classics line and the 1-2 punch of that and the Shun series happening at the same time that really awakened that massive, deep passion again.
But the classic line carried that passion on for a number of years. But then you've got to think, when we hit the likes of Universe 2.0, we were into the movie lines and stuff like that. Me personally, I was dropping off already when we hit Universe 2.0. The first few waves of that excited me. Yeah. And then I was trying to finish my Alternators collection. Then I was trying to get Beast Wars Neo. Then I bought every other Skystalker that you didn't. and then it's Creo. And then and now it's Turtles. The actual, it's not that my tastes have changed. It's not that I've changed. It's just actually I've got bored.
Yeah. Well,
my attention span isn't 7 years long on a toy line.
No, that's understandable. Yeah, it's a cycle, isn't it? You've just reached the sort of where you can get to with the Transformers cycle, and you've moved on to the next thing. At the moment, I'm eyeing up Kai Arts and really wishing I wasn't.
Expensive.
Yeah.
That gets expensive quick.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm eyeing up the Simpsons Lego if it's true next year and trying to avoid that. Because they'll just release some of the characters as like SDCC exclusive and you won't go just kill the whole line. So I'm trying not to get involved. Anyway, we're talking about AA, weren't we?
Yeah, we were, but this is the type of thing I really enjoy. I like organic discussion. It's fantastic. All right, then, shall we move on to the next bit then?
Yeah, go on then.
The next bit is, what was your favourite drink of the weekend? I kid. There was no favourite drink. There was only the pain that came after.
There was mead! And then beer stuff, it's weak, but it'll do.
Weak. It'll do in a punch.
First AA I didn't drink.
Well, I suppose you wouldn't have time, would you?
No, we had time. We just decided against it.
Yeah.
I had 2 pints the entire weekend. One at the lock-in and one after I went downstairs after that, and that was it. I remember everything that happened. I have money in my pocket. And I didn't wake up Sunday morning feeling like if I bent over, I'd throw up, and if I stood up too quick, I'd fill my pants.
I do have to say that I am really happy with the Sunday night at AA this year. Because finally, the final bolt has been put into place, the door has been closed, and the casket has been set on fire, never to be spoken of again. For Dave, in a sober manner, attempted to drink some mead.
Did he take one mouthful and went, I can't cope?
No. He said, that's actually rather nice. And then Amy came running at me in proper mother voice, saying, Gruffy, did you give Dave mead again? No, Mummy, I did not. Neither did I give him the drinking horn, as I skipped away merrily.
Now, that was quite an amusing part of the evening, all those people having the horn.
Yeah, it's just passing around the horn, Although that was the weird moment where Andrew Griffiths pointed out the fact that he knew who we were.
Anyone who's just joined the conversation of passing around the horn is...
I'm leaving it exactly where it is. If you weren't there, you didn't see it. And if you didn't see it, then you weren't there.
Although there is a beautiful picture up of Mr. Adam White drinking from the horn.
Yeah.
Leg up on the table and everything.
Man's looking impressive. It's like, good God. Horn in hand and nipples erect. I think the less said about Mr. White's nipples this weekend, the better.
Well, you do have the video of him with his chest full of cock. Chest full of dick, sorry.
Chest full of dick. His chest full of cock was the late Saturday night when he was asleep. Let's not tell him about that.
Oh, shit, have I just let the cat out of the bag?
You've let the cat out of the bag. Why do I smell foul?
No, your voice it wasn't mellow enough.
Why do I smell of foul?
Oh, that was pretty good. I have a feeling that he's one of those people who could, sell ice to Eskimos just by saying, "Would you like some ice?" He's got such a calming voice.
I've decided that, worst comes to worst in my life, I'm just going to turn, and it's going to be for Mr. White. I'm just going to sit outside his house in his bushes going, "I've turned for you, Mr. White. I'll take it up the bum-bum." Anyhow,
speaking of you in bushes.
Oh, God, what?
When I was speaking to...
You're in my hallway!
When I was...
With the sounds of doing unpleasant things to a dog.
I can hear that outside your window. It's very strange. When I was talking to the artists on the Sunday night and got around to Nick Roche, I was asking him about, helping us out with something. He was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm not on Facebook or anything, but you've got some contact details for me, haven't you?" I was like, yeah, I'm sure Adam's got all your details for, stalking purposes and that. He said, "Yeah, I know, it is getting a bit freaky, that." Because, "What do you mean?" "Well, at night when it's dark and you got to switch your light off as you stand in front of the window, and you can just see your face reflected in the window. And you switch your light off, and it's just Adam's face staring back at you."
Yeah.
The way he said it was just kind of like so matter of fact. It was like, has he got a stalker who looks like Adam?
I'm starting to wonder, is this where my reputation comes from? And then I think to myself, nope, no, it's not.
It's all those long shifts you tell us you do, mate.
Oh, God.
He's actually travelling
trips over the island.
Yeah. Just wearing nothing but a pair of Bermuda shorts and a happy smile. Hello, Nick. Would you like a banana? The guests. To move this on a little bit, because we've got a bit silly. The guests this year. We had some interesting guys this year. And for my money, the highlight is talking to Neil Kaplan. That man is brilliant. That man's my new hero. That man don't take shit from no one.
I didn't get to speak to him. I think I only heard a couple of sentences that he was talking, because it was like just after we realised we weren't going to be able to record. But by God, that man calls a spade and don't take no shit from nobody.
I love him. I think he's brilliant. Any man that you can have almost a political conversation with that doesn't devolve into, "Well, you're right and I'm wrong." It doesn't devolve into that. It was an intelligent, measured conversation. And then finishing off with why you have to watch lesbian porn to become immune to lesbians. You're my hero. It's just, wow. I didn't get a chance to speak to Dan Gilvezan at all over the weekend, unfortunately. As I say, we had a conversation with Roberts. But it was really nice, for me anyway, to finally have, even though it was quite fleeting, a chance to sit with Alex Milne and have a chat with him. Even though by that point he was as white as a ghost and looked like he needed a blood transfusion. Don't do that again, Alex. We all got very concerned for you.
Yeah.
I did actually think you were going to snap at one point and just go on a killing spree.
I thought he was just going to beat Mighty. I thought he was going to beat Mikey to death with a table at one point.
I thought he was just going to calmly put down his pen and just walk off, and we'd never hear from him again.
IDW has never heard from him. It'd be like Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
He walked off into the Birmingham night and was never seen again.
Every auto assembly, these Milne sightings around the wooded area. I've just seen a Milne. Like, all these people go out in like the Bigfoot gear.
So you get this shaky out of focus footage of Milne just walking through trees.
I just have visions of him set up a tree chewing on an acorn, thinking he's a squirrel. It'd be a massive acorn.
Oh, we love you, Alex. Don't ever do that again, please.
I seriously, dude, I hope you have rested up. I really do hope you've been able to get some time.
Yeah, definitely. Hope you got some sleep.
Yeah.
We're so sorry.
Hope there wasn't some noisy bastards were keeping you awake.
Those noisy bastards.
We're so sorry.
Guest highlights then. For me, I'll go in the 3, was Breakfast with Alex Milne after the infamous Saturday night. Where he finished his breakfast, sat there, sort of sat back, sighed, went back to sketching then, and then walked off. Poor man, I felt so sorry for him. I was very fortunate to be visited by Mr. Griffith earlier in the week, and to spend some time with him and his lovely wife around Cambridge. So that was a big highlight as well, to sort of step out of guest fanboy to friend. I'm lucky enough, obviously doing what I do, same as you guys do, to be able to talk to the likes of James and Nick and Alex and Andrew and the Joshes on a regular basis and consider them friends anyway, but actually be able to spend time as friends with someone outside of the convention was really, really nice. Sort of broke that wall down.
Yeah, definitely.
And I got to spend 10 minutes in a lift in a room with Steve Bloom, which, considering I have very little love for Prime, Starscream probably was the standout character. And just to see the man work confidently and just see how easy it was to turn off and on, and just relaxed as well. It wasn't like the panel Steve, it wasn't the signing Steve, it was just Steve, and he was so gracious with his time, so friendly, so chatty, and just enjoying himself. And it was like 10 minutes with the guy, 15 minutes with him, but it was more than of a highlight than sitting in the panel or even talking to them around the bar. It was just a very calm time. So that was a real special occasion, which I haven't really had at AA's because, much like you guys, sort of doing the panels as obviously working on the stall, I hear them, but I'm not really paying much attention. And doing sort of how we do it now of rocking up on the Friday, leaving on the Sunday, actually getting a chance to speak to any of the guests now is fairly slim as well. So it was really nice to have that base touched again.
So I've talked about it many a time. One of my favourite AA memories is actually sitting on the balcony with Greg Berger, just talking about music. It was not a conversation about, oh my God, you're Greg Berger, you welcome, like, it was talking, about the basics of punk music and where music is now compared to where it was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That kind of thing blows my mind, and it gives you a whole different perspective on, because they stop being a guest and become a person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And the person is, to me, so much more interesting than the guest.
Absolutely. I mean, to give you an idea of, I did that last year. It's just sat down and talked to Paul Iding for about an hour, but I was smashed, so I can't remember too much of it. But
that's why Paul Iding has got that little bit of paper for you.
It goes up next to my one for Leonard Nimoy.
Signature restraining order. Yay.
Adam, who I go to work on the stall with, asked me to get his Ghost Freak signed from Ben 10 by Steve. And it just reminded me that last year I was chatting to Paul Iding and Adam came up and it was just sort of like, oh, can you sign this? And handed him something else. I can't remember what it was. And he said, what do you want to sign from Perceptic? I couldn't give a toss about Perceptic. Your Grandpa Max. That's the most important thing. And as you say, it's not the voice actor, or it's not the voice
Yeah.
It's what else has happened in their lives, what else goes on is interesting as much as anything. Townsend Coleman coming to AA last year. Really, was anyone there for Sentinel Prime?
No.
Well, considering the fact that when they introduced him, he got up on stage and said, "I was told I would be killed if I didn't do this," and then just screamed "spoon" into the microphone.
It's an absolute. It's seeing the whole person, their full body of work, and appreciating that. You might not know it, but at least appreciating that they've done other stuff. To a lot of these guys, Transformers was a job that they've been very fortunate that there is a passionate following for, that they can do these conventions and travel the world seeing these conventions. But it was a job for a lot of them that lasted maybe 2 years. In your lifetime's work, that's nothing. And people like Steve, who are probably doing 20 jobs a year, it's nice to just being able to appreciate everything they do and get a better understanding of who they are. As I say, it makes them a human being, and then you can chat about other things.
Rob.
Yes.
Your guest highlight. I find it funny that we were talking about people being gracious with their time, and I think I know what one of your answers is going to be. But what are your guest highlights from this year's AA?
Guest highlights. I'd definitely say the interview with Roberts, because that if that's what you're referring to, that was quite awesome.
As he was still talking to us, we tried to bundle him out of the door.
The man was just brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that somebody else was ringing him because he was already supposed to be doing something else, and he just kind of like looked at his phone. It's that thing of, do I answer it whilst I'm on air?
Mm-hmm.
And then as he picked it up, it stopped ringing. He just went, "Oh, let's see how persistent they are." Put the phone back down. He was brilliant. As I say, it was really weird for us because that was pretty much a Transformers podcast.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't mean it to be. It's just obviously we're all such fans of the comic book. I think we just had such a large amount of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Which I found really, really great, actually, because it didn't sort of disintegrate into the fart jokes and childish humour and possible lawsuits.
Sure.
It was actually quite a really good conversation, which was really nice.
And once again, even though we were talking about More Than Meets the Eye, a lot what we got was the person behind it and where the ideas form. And I really want to know about his bookshelf. I want to know about his bookshelf.
Well, next day, hey, you can just ask him to bring a photo of his bookshelf.
Oh.
I'll bet you just move your stalking to someone else, and you might be able to see his bookshelf through his window.
Well, all that pepper spray is starting to get to me now. So,
I think guest-wise, I nearly fell over.
I know, I heard, because you're in my hall.
No, I think guest-wise, I'd have to say the Sunday night talking with a lot of the artists. So I'm not going to go into it here, but I was talking to a lot of the artists about something that I'm going to be doing next year, and it was quite amazing to see how receptive they were. It was none of them kind of turned around and just went, get away, pleb, or anything like that. They were all very accommodating, very supporting, and it was really, really nice just to be able to sit down and say, can I have 5 minutes of your time? Also, talking to not Chris Carter, Jason Cardy. That man is scary. Every time I talk to him, I find out he's got pretty much the same views as me on lots and lots of things. It's disturbing, very disturbing.
Are you calling yourself disturbing?
Yes.
Yay!
My God, yes.
But you're the voice of reason.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Mr. Mill. I'm the voice of reason. That was quite funny actually, because me being the Muppet I am, when I first met Milne for AA, I decided rather than just go, "Hi, I'm Rob," never seen each other before, who should probably tell you who I am. I went up to him and just opened with one of the jokes that we'd been joking about when we were doing a podcast, and the man just looked scared. So at that point I realised, I probably should introduce myself. So, I introduced myself and everything. He was like, okay, yeah, uh-huh. And then I was in the queue to get him to sign my More Than Meets the Eye trades. And I had my Old Oil House t-shirt on. Obviously, we do the shameless self-promotion every year. And, when I got to him, it was just kind of like, it's kind of nice to put a face to the voice now. I was like, okay. And he just kind of said, "You're not what I expected." Right? What did you expect? And he's basically said he expected some kind of like family man, like short hair and everything, not kind of the scruffy student-looking kind of person that I am.
You're a daddy.
Because apparently I'm the voice of reason. I found that very amusing, because if I'm the voice of reason, dear God in heaven.
You're the quiet one, though. You're the one that's quietly going mental.
I'm the one that people tend to back away from, because he's either very quiet because he's intimidated by all of us, or he's a psychopath.
Right, well, I think because we've actually been going for a little longer than I expected us to, we'll start wrapping this up.
Are you not going to do your
oh, yeah.
your comments?
For some reason, I thought I already had. I didn't, no?
I don't think so.
You were the first one, weren't you?
Yeah, I already have, yeah.
Okay.
You're in my hallway, why can't you hear me? You're in my fucking hallway. It's really quite weird. So we'll start wrapping this up then, and just saying, using this year's Auto Assembly 2013, what would you say is the main reason to come back next year? Oh, actually, before we do that, there is something I do actually want to ask, and I completely forgotten because I was going to ask it, but then forgot to. Matt. Kapow. How was the sales room this year compared to the last few years?
Well, I mean, I'll just give you guys a quick overview of what we go through.
Oh yeah, please don't go into numbers and details, because that's not something to be put out into the ether.
Quick overview of what we go through as dealers. Just so people get an idea why we might get a bit narky on Sunday when you come and offer us a tenner for a £25 thing. I bit someone's head off. The kid was 9. He had to learn. Even his dad looked embarrassed. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but I was tired. We normally leave. Well, the boss will get the van, load it, and get to Cambridge from Norwich at about 11 normally. So he's probably been going since about 8 a.m. Maybe before. Going off what the van looked like this year, probably long before. We then drive to Birmingham. We normally rock up around about the 1 o'clock mark. We then have to set up, which is literally we get our tables and some tablecloths. Everything else we do ourselves. Moving and stocking is all on us. Tidying up is all on us. Getting, how we want it laid out is all on us. So if there's something like a table setup that you think doesn't work or does work, it's on the seller. So best thing to speak to them. We then set up until this year. I think we were done by about, well, we didn't get there until about 2, but we were done by about 5:30. We then had to stay in the room because as much as AA want to reassure the sellers that their stock is safe, when there's 100 odd people in for the Friday night events,
yeah,
it wouldn't be hard for somebody to sneak through. Yeah. And with the previous problems of stock taking a walk, we sat there until like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
By which point Swerve's bar was closed. So our only option was to buy food from the bar. Which you can imagine by that stage we were like, not overly pleased. Then we all decided not to bother getting a bite to eat. And went to bed at I went to about 11. The other guys went up before that. We were then up at 5:45 to hit the gym, then hit the breakfast bar. So we were in the breakfast for 7. Shower, into the room to finish setting up to be open for. We had to be down there at 8:30 this year.
Right.
Ready to go, basically.
Yeah.
We then sell through until the con closes at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
So we're talking it's a full day's work.
It's 4 days' work, yeah. We then have to reset for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Again, by this point, Swerve's bar was closed by the time we got out. And then Sunday, we repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat, and pack up and leave. And I think we were home about 8, and the boss was probably home about 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's our weekend. So if anybody ever wonders why we're a bit narky or a bit tired or not overly up for a massive party,
yeah, it's a bit obvious.
Yeah, we're absolutely shattered. But as in terms of how it was this year, maybe it was because last year was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
This year was sensational.
I'm glad to hear it.
People were actively looking to spend money,
Mm-hmm.
which is a first for a long time.
I suppose it doesn't help that the last 4 years or so we've all been knee deep in recession. So
Well, we're in recession now, but people seem to have just worked their money better.
Mhm.
I don't know. I looked at it as actually this year we were carrying a large number of high-end, high interest items.
yeah,
Last year we were carrying lots of Arms Micron stuff and things like that. And
I see.
and they're all sort of 20, 25, 30 pound bits.
Mhm.
This year we were carrying 40 Metroplexes,
I don't know how you got them.
half a dozen Fort Maxes, the Encore ones,
Yeah,
and probably near to 100 masterpieces in various forms.
mm-hmm.
We took home probably 24 masterpieces, if that, and they were nearly all side swipes because we didn't put 2 of the boxes out. We cleared silly amounts of big £100 plus items.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone who saw the stall at the start of Saturday or on Friday night, we had a wall of Metroplexes at the back that was high. Well, it was like 8 foot high. They were gone by the end of Saturday.
Yeah.
People were willing and wanting to buy them. There was no hard sell. It was, look, there it is. Okay. Which is a real encouragement for us as well, because you're going, all right, okay, we're starting to get a handle on what people actually want. And it does depend on what's out. And it does depend on, obviously, most of the stuff we were selling was either Japanese import, that's either been out for a while, or, is fairly recent. Third-party stuff, which didn't sell as well as we had anticipated by any stretch. Or stuff that's coming out in the next sort of 2 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But people were willing to spend the extra bit of money to have it there and then. And the stuff that we actually sold the best was the stuff like Metroplex, who's supposed to be in stores within 6 weeks. People wanted to have him at the event. And, as we discussed it, people want a big take-home item from a convention. They want to be able to say, I bought that at Auto Assembly 2013. I bought that at Auto Assembly 2012. It's part of the memory is tied up in it. And obviously, we all pay a little bit more than maybe we should for stuff, or spend a little bit more than maybe we should on stuff at AA, because it's AA.
Yeah, completely.
So hopefully next year things will play out that we'll be able to do the same sort of thing. We'll be able to bust out large items. So there'll be masterpieces that people are interested in. There'll be new third-party masterpiece figures like Quake Wave, which just sold like hotcakes. There'll be new Voyagers that people. We sold tons of Voyagers. but that people will be interested in. And it's sort of getting stock that people want is not getting stuck, as I think a lot of people were last year, with stuff that people actually kind of had kind of like it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But if you wanted it, being Arms Micron, things like that, being cheaper, around that sort of £30 mark, if you actually really want it, you'll have bought it.
Yeah.
You would have pre-ordered it. You would have got it from your local online retailer. If it's big items, you either want to see it in person, or you want to be able to walk away with it.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's third party as well, you often want to be able to see it in person. And I think that's where we've been very lucky this year, and hopefully next year will be the same. But we need those big items, those interesting third party items, and those things that we can sell from personal experience as well. You know, Quake Wave being probably the case in point this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Because boy, does that thing look naff in its box.
But once you get the thing out. Ooh.
Oh, the toy of the year. Oh. Unbelievable piece of kit. And you know, it was a great year as a retailer, a great year. You know, don't people start thinking that we made millions of pounds, whatever you do. You know, you can do some simple maths. AA costs most retailers about £1,000 to actually put on in overheads, let alone stock costs, and most will run to a maximum of a 10% profit margin. You've only got to do your math to realise how much money people have to take just to break even. So it's hard work, and it's a lot of the time it's really for promotion rather than it is for profit. But we had a good year. We had an encouraging year, and the three of us left tired but very happy, and we had a good year this year. Last year, complete opposite. We had a foul journey home. Barely spoke 3 words to each other.
Oh, right.
No, just because we were so tired and worn out, and it had been a really bad year, you know, bad selling and everything. And this year, the fun and games continued all the way home. So yeah, that's
a crappy car journey, especially when you got a long way to go.
Yeah, you got like 2 hours in a white van. And it's a lot funny. It's a lot more fun if people can still smile when someone drops a fart that kills at people. You know? Because from a retailer point of view as well, one of the greatest things about this year is everyone smelled a lot better. You didn't have the normal funk
You're welcome.
that AA carries. Man,
there was a lovely smell coming from your store.
Oh dear me!
That really was.
On the Saturday there was. On the Sunday there weren't. We ended up at Frankie and Benny's in the airport. Do you know how weird it is to eat a meal at an airport and not be going anywhere?
Yes. We went on the was it the Thursday? Can't remember now. I think it was the Thursday we went to Frankie and Benny's. And then on the Sunday, no, the Saturday night, I think it was, we went to Woodrow's in the airport. It is very, very weird. There's all these people dragging around suitcases and everything, and you're just kind of like dumpty 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 dum.
It's just bizarre, isn't it? You're sat there going, are we going somewhere?
I should be listening out for my departure times, but I'm not.
Won't lie, we did consider going to Amsterdam overnight. But
I get the feeling that Dom was with you for that. I don't know why I get that.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. It was a very... After last year's Frankie and Benny's expedition, where there was about 30 of us, and I think we're banned, this year was a much more sedate, just 5 of us this year. And we just relaxed and ate vast amounts of barbecued meat.
Well, I'm going to start drawing this to a close now, because we've been going for quite some time, and I am curiously aware that it's getting night and dark and scary, and Rob's in my hallway. I'm worried that he's out there getting uncomfortable. This is so weird. In one sentence or less, reasons that you've learnt this year for why people should go to next year's auto assembly. Matt?
It's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
Okay. Rob.
Weirdly, that does kind of sum it up for me this year. On the positive side of that.
Well, no, I think there's quite a lot of positive you can take from that sentence. It's a good one. So it is basically the same as what is it? Who knows what is possible until you've attempted the impossible and succeeded.
Mm.
Yeah, it is never going to be as bad as you think it might be. Rob.
Community.
Completely.
One word. Met new people, got to know people better. As I said on my whole video, if you know half the people that do the podcasts and that through the forums and that, but you're not a huge Transformers fan, just come for the community.
Which means you, Northammer, wherever you might be.
Yes, we need to see you. Need to see if you actually look like the picture I drew.
We need to see if he's still alive.
But no, it's just, as I say, I'm not the hugest Transformers fan. I just buy toys that I think look cool and I like the comics. But yeah, the community feel that you get from everyone. Last year we met 2 new people who are now, good friends. And this year met 2 new people. Hopefully, they'll be good friends as well. But, it's the community that most of us go for.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly, and that's exactly what I was going to say. We have a great group of people that I go back to see every year, and to be honest with you, as I said before, I am very thankful for this group of people around me. It's probably the best support net I could ever wish for. So, yes, anyhow, with that then, all we have left is some pimpage. Rob.
Yes.
Pimp something that you wish to pimp.
I'll go for an oldie but goodie. KaosMV.com. Now taking commissions. If you would like a picture drawn by yours truly, you can go to www.chaosmv.com, see the sort of stuff that I do, and then email me at chaosmv@gmail.com.
Matt, I'm sure you've got something you can pimp here. There's something.
Yeah, obviously the podcast, go and listen to the Underbase if you like Transformers comics. If you don't, tough.
Go listen anyway, or else.
Yeah. But more importantly, go and check out kapowtoys.co.uk for all of your Transformers and other things, wants and needs.
Good man. Adam, what do you want to pimp out? Well, I'm going to pimp out the fact that recently we put out a podcast panel to show. Listen to reasons why you don't want to listen to any show when we put it out. Oh, God. All I remember from that is the white hot fear. That's all I remember. So, with that, then, we're going to close this up for the night. And I would like to say thank you to Mr. Rob.
You're welcome.
And I'd like to say thank you, Matthew, for appearing here, Mr. King Grimmy, sir. Thank you for finally making this appearance. I thank you from the very bottom. I am so pleased you're here.
It's an absolute pleasure, you sarcastic.
You brought this on yourself, my friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You didn't expect Fallout?
Didn't expect to be on the show so soon.
Well, in all honesty, it is actually really good to finally have you on. It's been years in the making, actually.
Yeah, it's taken a while, hasn't it, really?
And I really look forward to doing the BotCon comic.
Another lie, isn't it?
And with that, we're out. Take care, everybody. We're going to have some pre-recorded sections for you to listen to now, and I hope you enjoy. So, night from us in this point in time.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome, one and all, to an old Royal House and Order Assembly 2013.
Yay!
Where we are going to now take a list, make it, check it twice. Gonna find out who's been naughty or nice. Then, gonna make Dave dance for my amusement.
I shall dance to the music. How are we humming the same tune? And I don't know what that was.
I
Get out my head!
I believe it was some sort of I can't even say it. It's that epic.
Wow. So, with me today, there is, of course, the almighty Wallace.
Hello, everybody.
We've got the ever-sexual Rob.
Hi.
And we've got a man. We've got another man who's lurking. He doesn't want to be there, though. He's just lurking. You'll never know who that man is. Because you can't see this.
But I do. I know who it is.
Visual reference in an audio medium.
Is it Batman?
No, that's Owlman, and he's outside. He also wants justice, and he wants it now. It's the Fathers for Justice League out there. So, right, what we have here is a little collection of things that Tricky has set up, and we're now going to work our way through them to see which of these they're going to take.
So the idea is that I throw out onto Twitter, Facebook, the internet, our window, grab people on the street, costing people in phone boxes, ask them what I should buy at Auto Assembly. I like buying tasks. I like wandering around and finding stuff that's cheap, interesting, weird. So I thought, let's give it some direction this year. Let's see what we can find, and let's see how much of this we can buy from Toyfu and raise some money for a good cause. So this is the list that has been returned to us. Now, the idea of this was to stretch me, to challenge me, and that may or may not have happened. This may become a living list that we add stuff to as we go along, talking like this for the rest of the podcast.
Just keep talking with one long, continuous, unbroken sentence moving from topic to topic. Like hypnotic.
So yes, this is what people threw back at us. Now,
Yes.
the idea of this is that this list has to be ratified. I can make things up otherwise. It has to be ratified.
Yep.
And that's what Mr. Adam is here to do.
So, what we've got here so far is point 1, a Revenge of the Fallen Ravage.
Rawr.
Now, if memory serves me right, that only came out in deluxe, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Secondly, I believe this was from Stu, anything from Toyfu, which is quite an easy one. The next one.
Keegan?
Next one, and this is my personal favourite, because I came up with it. A Scramble City combiner made from random parts.
Do you want to explain what that means?
Now, what I want here is a Scramble City combiner without a torso. Tricky has to make a combiner using only limbs.
What kind of madman are you?
A mad one!
Surely you must realise, though, that if you take 5 toys that are all exactly the same size and you make a combiner out of them, oh wait, that happened.
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
It's easy. I just get 4 limbs and a prowl.
Yeah.
But it has to, you have to put it together.
I know. Yes. And that will be judged in a forthcoming podcast.
It will have to stand on its own.
Now, when you say stand,
May I throw out a slight curveball?
Yes.
A Scramble City combiner made of all of the same components.
No. He can go for all blocks if he wants, or he could go for a blot, a nose cone, a streetwise. Yeah. As long as it is a combiner that we can look at and say, yes, that is now a combiner, but has not got a hunger or a defense or a hotspot or anything in the middle.
A Generation 1 Scramble City combiner with an apple for its torso.
If you want to go for that, you can go for that.
Just take an apple. Log
regiment.
For this to work, it has to stand, and you cannot be touching it.
Right, we will see. We will get here.
Next one, a Rock Lord.
Seems achievable.
I can't see that being a problem.
Next up, we have Armada Minicons.
Right, do you want to make a judgment of how many cons means?
I'm thinking there was... Actually, Dave, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dreamwave, Dave?
I remember Dreamwave, yes.
Do you remember the last issue of Armada before they went off to fight Unicron?
Yes.
Do you remember that panel where all the Minicons came to help them?
Yes.
Do you think it would be unreasonable to say Tricky has to recreate that panel?
Is there an unlimited budget to this?
Yeah, it's a good point.
It don't have to be exactly the same, but there were about 20 Minicons.
I would say you could probably pick up like a Minicon job lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, run away. Was he the?
Yeah, he was the leader of them.
He was going to be the tricky one because he was only packaged with Deluxe Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So he could be a problem. No, was it Runaway? I don't think it was.
Leader one was Megatron.
Leader one was Megatron, but this wasn't Sparkplug. This was the guy that showed up and only got packaged.
The jet dude.
Yeah,
No,
he could be a problem.
no,
But
Overrun.
Overrun, yes.
Was it Overrun because Nemesis Prime King was run over?
Yes. That was so brilliant. But yes, that could be.
It wasn't run away and away run, which might have been better.
Did the Unicron toy hold 25 minicons or 50 around its rings?
25.
25.
25 ports.
Yeah, because 50
Sounds right, yeah.
50 seems a bit excessive.
Yeah. So, does anyone think that I'm asking too much to remake that panel?
Mr. Walsh made an interesting point earlier. Without seeing the whole, it's difficult to say. For all we know, there's a bag in there of 50 minicons.
Yeah. I say minicons are achievable, but perhaps not on the scale that you're looking for. In other words, every single minicon.
No, didn't have every single. Didn't have any of the recalls.
No,
it was all the single.
I would say make the getting Armada minicons sort of as many as sensibly can, but an optional extra to it.
A stretch goal.
Yeah, if it's achievable, have the optional extra of enough to recreate the panels.
I've got another way of thinking about this. Once again, Dave, you're in the Dreamwave. Do you remember in Transformers Armada, the comic, there was a collection of rogue minicons?
There was the military patrol team.
Yes, but there was only a couple of others, didn't there? Was it just those three?
Yeah, there was. Well, they were the guys that were living on the moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would that be a more reasonable thing to think?
Yes, but not half as fun.
Yes.
As trying to create an entire army to stop Unicron.
Yes.
You know. So I don't know.
Judgment call then, people. What do we go for?
Give me a number. I need an over-under. Give me a number.
I say let's say 25 separate minicons.
25 separate.
So individuals, as in no duplicates.
I'm trying to think how many minicons there were.
A lot. Not including recolors, but there was certainly a lot. Yeah.
All right, that's certainly a target. That's definitely a number.
I think we can knock that down to 12. I think 12 is more reasonable.
We'll have 12 as the target and 25 as the stretch goal.
Okay. Right. Next up, we've got a Ladybird book in cassette.
Arguably not tat.
No, good stuff.
It doesn't necessarily all have to be tat.
It's also the more together continuity of Transformers.
I'm assuming I'll get a different cassette to the book.
Here's hoping.
It doesn't say that they have to be the same.
Exactly.
One, next up, a colouring book.
It's a shame.
Most likely just free with a goodie bag.
Yep.
Oh, I've got one down already.
Oh God, somebody doesn't like you. Next up, Human Alliance Basic.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, just the human.
A big small army of just the humans.
Yeah. To fight the Minicon invasion.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Now, do we leave it as just a basic Human Alliance, or do we give him one that he has to find?
I do not wish to force pain on any human being. I say we just leave it as is.
That's what I've always liked, Dave.
Yeah.
Rob, what are you saying?
From what I saw of those, they were quite atrocious. So I'd say the cheapest one you can get.
Okay.
You know, all the better.
Right, next up is a GoBot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Sorensen has just showed up.
Are you podcasting?
We are.
I see. Would you like to add something to the scavenger hunt list?
Sure.
You need to come up with something tat that Tricky can find. Something tat in the hole. He's thinking.
Right, whilst you're thinking that, we'll carry on. So, number 9 is a GoBot.
Yeah,
This should be easily achievable.
That should be quite an easy one to do.
Is it just any GoBot, or do you want to do a specific GoBot?
Well, I'm thinking to change that from a GoBot to a Psykill of some description. Because Psykill is amazing and better than Megatron. Also, if you look at its third party name, it's Murder Bike. Winning.
what else we got?
Next up, we've got a Frankenstein Monster of Bits.
Well, technically that I think falls under the combiner.
I think that does.
Well, no, this was a specific thing that Matt wanted. This was
Oh,
4 deluxes with their arms and limbs swapped.
All right.
So one ball jointed central torso, and then swap everything out.
Next up, we've got a hat. Really?
I didn't write the list.
I know where you can get a hat right now.
Will it have green nail polish?
scavenger hunt. What's that?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got. Oh, good lord! Who came up with this? Headmaster heads.
Yeah, I don't see that
You're
happening.
not going to get that from us, lieutenant.
No, that's.
That was our good friend Daniel.
Clearly a man of expensive taste.
Yeah. Oh, good God. A combiner built from only limbs, chromed. What? No,
I think that's two separate things, yeah.
That's
So
what
we
we've
can
already
forget the
mentioned.
limbs.
Next up, a chromed toy with intact chrome.
Yes.
That's harsh.
Yes, that gave Mr. Clue.
I'm adding an Animorph to the list.
Wow.
Oh! Nice.
Any condition.
I'm going to throw this out there because I don't think you're going to be able to do this. I don't care which one you do, a deluxe Ratchet and a deluxe Megatron, and I want you to melt the two together.
See, I can do that.
Oh, wouldn't that fall under number 10? A Frankenstein bot?
Yeah, actually
that's
that
true.
would, yeah.
Well, I'm on board with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we fire through the rest of these?
Sure.
There's more.
Just a few more. A complete Micromasters team. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
A toy stamped in the 80s.
Yeah, that can't. But keep reading. Keep reading.
A toy stamped in the 80s that's not.
Transformers or He-Man.
Oh, not a Transformer or He-Man. Oh, I get you. I understand now. Okay. Oh, the next one's a good one. An Imperator victim.
Yes. Fucking Ender. Which led us to have many conversations about who are victims of Imperator. Because you've got Shockwave, you've got Whirl,
Yeah.
Smokescreen? No, Smokescreen. Smoke Jumper? Sunspot?
I would say one of them, yeah. There would be a.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
this is the question.
That's the problem. The only ones we really know are Whirl and Shocker.
Yeah.
The Revenge of the Fallen Drones, Swindle.
It's a different continuity.
Yeah, but still. I like the idea of Imperator in this case being remove your head, gave you a camera.
And the claws fire.
Yes. Looks full of teeth.
Some kind of weird.
Eyes made of wood.
So, what are we saying? Do I need a Shockwave or a Whirl, or are we spreading it out?
Well, you're not going to get either of those two for.
I'd probably get
A Action Master Shockwave.
Exactly, yeah.
Could get a.
A jump.
It was the Generations Whirl,
Yeah.
wasn't it? The one that was the
Well,
blackout repaint.
but Dave, there's the new Ruination Whirl.
There is also the.
That's going to be at least 20 quid.
who got redone for World recently? Not long back.
Yeah,
Young
blackout.
man.
No, after Blackout. I don't know. This one after Blackout. I can't.
I've no idea. But
Oh.
gentlemen, I'm going to have to be really evil and slide away from this podcast
Okay.
like a snake sliding
grass.
away from its victim thing. I've lost it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm away!
Take care, dude.
Thanks, Dave.
Right, I've only got two more to go. One is a Chrome Dome,
Keep reading. There's more to that one.
missing his left arm.
So it's comic accurate.
No, isn't that just.
You're welcome.
Isn't it just get a Chrome Dome and pull his arm off?
Either that or just in the junk box.
Well, that seems to be everything from the list, but we do have some other people here. So, first person.
Science!
It's the Irish. It's
What is the
Irish.
entirety of the Irish people?
Mikey, have you given Mr. Tricky anything for his scavenger hunt?
No, I haven't given Ricky anything for a scavenger hunt because I have nothing to scavenge.
That's not what Alex says.
That's a pillage.
Oh,
There
I always get those two mixed
The
up.
term you're looking for is plunder.
This is my looty hat. Matt, you've already given him one, haven't you?
Yeah, I've already given them some stuff. I think the biggest one is the junker piles, you know, where you can go into all the junker boxes, get all the stuff from deluxes, legends, anything you want, and rather than just try and fix it, create your own Frankenstein's monster of parts and make it look convincing.
Well, in that case, I think that's all we've got. Unless Mikey wants to throw something into the hat. What do you want Tricky to have to look for?
A license plate.
A license plate.
Which is from Sweden.
I think
That's not going to happen, Mikey.
Well, maybe you're going to have to put a lot of effort into it.
he has to find it by the end of the weekend.
This is a multicultural event. There are people from all
So
the world.
if I commission somebody to draw me a license plate for Sweden,
I will allow it, but only if you have searched it on the Sunday.
Matt, you drawing a license plate on Sunday.
So we got that's 19. That's 18 things and one ridiculous Mikey.
You already found it.
And I think that is the list.
Yeah, that's the list ratified. So we'll meet back here on Sunday and see how I did.
Indeed. For you, it'll only be a few short minutes. For Rob, it'll be the most important day of his life. And there's only one way to finish this.
Well, thank you, future me from the past. I'm glad that you've paid attention enough to know that this would make sense when you came back to doing it later on in life. Yeah. That probably didn't work in the slightest, but I don't care, I'm taking it. So we have now got a little bit of a chat to go about the fact that AA this year had an actual podcasters panel. With me to discuss that, there is the one, the only, the tiny, the slimy. It's...
Tiny too slimy, apparently. What the hell, dude?
I said tiny, he's slimy. See,
Good
tiny,
Lord.
slimy, timey-wimey.
Good Lord, we are not using that username. Oh, man.
What's wrong with tiny, slimy, timey-wimey?
Big slimy Kevin Nash.
Ew. I don't want to see the big slimy. Ugh.
Hello, one and all. I am high on flu drugs, and I'm awesome. How is everybody doing?
Not too bad, sir. Not too bad. But we are not alone. There is one more person with us. He's Clicky. He's... I can't think of any other words to rhyme with it. Damn it. It's Tricky.
He's
Hi.
slicky.
I'm the podcasting Predacon.
I thought you were going to say the podcasting predator.
No. That's Bill.
Thus, a new name was born. The
Wait.
podcasting Predacon.
Why can nobody pronounce the word clique? It's not clicky, it's cliquey.
I was more meaning you click.
I just
Needs to.
I just thought it was like a regime where people click instead of clap, around the table like a bunch of...
We're not dance fighting. It's not West Side Story.
Please, can it be West Side Story?
Can it be West Side Story between the AAers and the Quilters?
Oh, that makes Adam Romeo.
Oh, man. That is
And
a true
this-
romance there.
Yeah, and the slightly forward Dutch quilter with Juliet.
Oh, man. Oh, we've just created a new musical right there. Right there. I'm slightly scared of the Quilters now. They could fuck me up.
They've got needles, and they've got thread, and they know how to use it.
Hey, my wife does cross-stitch. That needle keeps on getting closer and closer to me if I sit next door to her. It's almost like she's threatening me with it, teasing me with it.
Well, I, for one, welcome our quilters young allowed.
All from my head now is just all these quilters singing the song from Aladdin. Gotta keep one jump ahead of the bread line. That's all, and that's no joke. Anyhow, we're actually here to talk not about quilters and cliques and clicks and beeps and boops and tiny, slimy, wimey. Hang on.
I'll show you my timey, slimy, wimey.
The tiny is his penis.
Yeah, it is. Wait, what?
We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that Audible Assembly had a podcasters panel. It was put together and moderated by our good friend Tiny Slimy Wimey.
I was so scared.
And I'm going to actually get you to talk about it first, because all I remember is the white hot fear.
Well, I came across the idea about 2 months ago, and this was after watching various Q&A panels from various different conventions, and thought, well, we've never done anything like that before. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to put faces to the voices, because we do have a small fan base. Albeit a little small, not compared to some other podcasts out there, but there are people that generally listen to our show. On top of that, there were also people that are interested in doing their own stuff, so it would be a cool idea of somehow giving them a little bit of a sneak behind the curtain, as it were, as to what we do. So I gathered the troops, as it were, from 3 different podcasts. Not intending to do the panel myself, of course, because, I don't have a Transformers-based podcast anymore. But I'd be happy to moderate it and let the other guys speak. So I brought everyone together in the usual knocking out of ideas. But ultimately, we just sort of played it by ear. On the day itself, I hadn't had a flipping clue what I was going to do. All I had an idea was how to do the introductions and just how to play it along there. And obviously the couple of the surprises that I slipped in during the thing. All of that was planned in my head ahead of time. But other than that, I have to admit the rest of it was just made up on the spot. That's all it was to it, actually. I wasn't expecting the people that we had at in the audience, but we filled the room. And wow, yeah, let's talk about doing it again next year. So,
well, I think it's going to happen again next year, and I think next year we'll be a little bit more prepared for it.
Oh yeah, we've got about a year to plan now.
So we're going to start planning it yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Tricky, as the newest addition to the team that was on the panel, how did you think it went?
I think it went well. I mean, I've got some very strong ideas about what we should do next year, which we can maybe get into later on. We can leave till we're not recording. But fundamentally, you've got 7 or 8 very, very funny people there who know how to interact with one another, who know how to listen, know when to interject, and know when to shut up. Mm-hmm. So once you've kind of thrown the beach ball into the crowd, so to speak, that could have gone on for 3 days, easily. Oh, yeah. I thought it went well. I thought that people were kind of chipping in with interesting or informative bits of information. It's difficult to know what the audience actually want. And I think Andy fell between 2 stools a little bit, because it was pretty much an info dump. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's how you do this. People are not coming to these things with a notepad and a recorder to actually learn how to do something. You might give them some hints that they'll take away, but I think they come to be entertained, or they come to meet the people who are either voices or pictures on their computer.
Mm-hmm. The little voices that live in the iPod.
Exactly. I mean, how many people came up to you and said, and said, "You're not what I expected"?
Rob got that. Apparently, I'm exactly what people expect, apparently. well, probably didn't tell it to you, but no, there were several people who came to me and just commented that you didn't look like they expected you to look. Not really? Quite sure. I'm not sure what they were expecting. But I believe you did say at one point that you felt most relaxed when you were dancing behind Rob. Oh, completely.
Which...
Go. I was going to say, but that's kind of a thing. I mean, me and Rob talked about this on quite a deep basis, that for the most part, when we do the podcasts and whatnot, we take a facet of ourselves and we put it out there on the pedestal and show it off, and that's the personality that comes across, because, when people listen to these things, they don't know anything else about you. All they know is the person that is there in front of you. The person that's on the show, which isn't the full person. What I found interesting about that as a experiment inside my own head is I got really nervous about it. Because me as a person who, the person that I am, not the person that I take the facet of to have on the shows, don't like it when there's lots of people staring at me and there's no way to get out. If there's a way out, I'm fine. If it's the fact that there's no way out, I'm not allowed to swear, I can't curse, I can't go completely off the rails.
Yeah, that was a limitation. Me, Mikey, and Andy talked about this for quite a long time afterwards. That you've got 7 people there who were suddenly very aware of the limitations. And were suddenly aware that you couldn't make the easy gay joke. You can't make the easy, let's rape Mikey joke.
Yeah.
You can't swear. I mean, swearing's... I would like to think we're all clever enough not to need to do that.
Well, it's a part of language, though. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that you've adopted into the rhythm of how you speak.
Yeah, of course. But as I say, I think we're all clever enough not to need it. Just with a second start, there is a word that will replace it.
Of course.
Persona is an interesting question, and this probably isn't the place to get into it. We all wear masks every day, and you choose what to show the world. Now, how often you change that differs from person to person. And it probably is massively linked to your psyche. And understanding why you do things is something that everybody kind of has to work out for themselves. But I'm completely comfortable with the masks I wear, so to speak, so I was absolutely unfazed by the audience. I haven't talked to him, but I would imagine that Paul's the same.
Yeah,
having actually stood up on stage and acted and sang, it's something that you kind of put the set aside, put it in a little box, and don't think about it now.
Yeah. What I should have done was gone and joined Matt in the sauna.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. I could have just used up the entire day's worth of terrible, horrible things. I just said them all at Matt and just turned up really relaxed. How are you feeling? I'm feeling great. I have nothing terrible left to say to anyone.
Well, this is it. I mean, I was absolutely bricking it beforehand, not because of anything else other than how's this going to go, how am I going to present it and stuff. And most of what I thought, apart from the three obvious things that I put in place, which was to introduce the panelists, to bring in Dave if he was in, because obviously you can't have Andy without Dave in the beginnings of Moonbase 2. And then we had the iconic reviews thing, which came up later on, which I was going to do originally as just like a 10-second thing of them just pimping themselves out. Obviously, with Paul pulling out midway through, I obviously needed an empty chair to slot in, so I needed to work that in as well. All of that was worked in on the spot, just welded one thing into the other. But how certain things were going to be structured, how we were going to present it, all of that, I needed to center myself and I needed to think up stuff. And that's when I decided to bugger off, swim with a nice skinny Welshman who probably did the complete opposite of putting me at ease when he decided to just talk to me start Roddick naked. But, that's his romance story, not mine.
I'd like to think that you dropped to the ground and started playing with it like a cat and some balls.
Yeah, like I said, meow, meow, little tickle on. Yeah, right. Right. But yeah, so certain things I already knew, but I needed to get it all slotted into place. So before we had our little meeting, before the actual panel itself, I needed to figure stuff out in my head, and that's why I buggered off for about an hour and a bit to just get things processed.
How long did we actually have? Was it an hour?
We technically should have had a slot between 5 and 6 p.m. Two things worked in our favour. Number one, obviously, things didn't quite work the way they should have because we had Amy missing. We still needed to do the setup between the Kit Bash panel finishing up and us setting up.
Yep.
Things started a little slower, a little later than planned. And originally we were going to wrap it all up at about 6:15, since we were given an hour, so we were going to use an hour. We ended up staying there till 25 to 7. So we were there 90 minutes, more or less, give or take, once everyone got out of the room.
I found that a really interesting thing there, the fact that we had 90 minutes and we filled 90 minutes easily.
You got to understand, though, that most of that was the origin stories of our various podcasts.
Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely one we don't have to do again.
No, unless other podcasts come into play. But, of course, this is something we need to talk about outside of the recording.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, I mean, just before we move on, you say you're surprised we can fill 90 minutes.
Sorry, I'm not surprised we filled 90 minutes.
Oh, God, no. I mean, we filled, 4 hours last night?
Yeah.
So, it's not something... I mean, it's probably not a great secret that a lot of us do talk. We don't just kind of rock up and podcast. We do actually know each other outside the recording sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not unusual to have 4 or 5 hour long conversations.
Yeah.
And if people were just repeating the same things again and again and again, it would get very old very quickly.
Hi.
Ride that pony into the ground.
Back out because it's now hamburger.
But there are certain things. I mean, I think most of us know the kind of key phrases to break most of the other people we talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's comedy in watching somebody just break down. So even if we get utterly desperate, you can reach into the knapsack and pull the emergency cord and just break Paul for 30 seconds.
See, the happy hour recorded this year's AA. I found it to be a interesting experience. I also found it to be a very interesting experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that places like TFCon, they have these like fan media panels and whatnot. But this year was the first time at AA you actually had the fan group stepping up to do something within, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You've had the kit bashers and the customizers a couple of years now. And it was last year, I think, that they started doing something that was a little bit more of a proper experience rather than a couple of guys sitting in a room somewhere just doing some kit bashing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. But this is the first time that between us and Andy and Ben's YouTube video panel, that people were coming to see the fan stuff as well as going to see the stars of the show, the comic artists and whatnot. And I find that a very interesting thing. And I'm hoping that, I mean, you were saying that you've spoken to 2 people, Matt, who were interested in starting up their own thing.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the most successful thing that's come out of this. Not to say that the entire thing was an utter nightmare or anything like that. I think it actually went pretty well from what I can remember through the white-hot fear. But I think that's the most successful, that somebody's actually turned around and went, yeah, okay, I've taken on board what they've said, and I want to try this.
There was actually 2 things that gave me a real shot in the arm in my own confidence coming from this. I don't know, were you with me, Tricky, when we were talking to Ray McComb, when he initially came up to us?
I Love Mess.
No, not I Love Mess. That's I've forgotten his surname now. That's the other Ray, but Giant Ray, as in
as in King Grimlock Ray.
King Grimlock. No, that's Matt.
No,
we're
that's
talking
him.
about big Irish Ray.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yes.
Right now, Ray is an amazing bloke with amazing ideas and a real sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Ray is also very, very shy. He did a podcast that sort of did 2 shows for us, and then he went away because of various things we don't talk about here. It's nothing to do with us, and it's private for him. But 2 things came out of this AA. Number one, when he came up to us, and now bearing in mind, Ray knows me now for a few years, and he's known most of us on the forums for quite a while now. He came to us and he couldn't speak. He sort of muttered a word every now and again, and I said to him, Ray, just pretend I'm the camera that you're staring at when you do your YouTube videos. Because him doing his YouTube videos, he's coherent, he gets his point across, gets it all done. So I just said to him, look, pretend I'm your camera. And throughout the rest of the weekend, not only was he started talking to us normal.
Started stripping.
He started stripping, he was telling us.
It's when he went to refocus you, Matt. That was really rough.
And I know, and it's when he started licking his finger. It's just, I thought it was a little too confident.
It's when he wanted to get the information off you and got the USB sticks out. I was really nervous for you.
But he said that. He said that thanks to us, I've got the confidence to speak and I've got the confidence to talk to people. And then he said, because of the Q&A panel, he's had the confidence to try and restart podcasting again. Because the first few times he's done it, obviously he had that shyness there. So I consider that result. I consider the fact that a couple of people that have never done podcasting before, or at least tried it in the past. I mean, there's Dave Mentz is another one who said he's seriously thinking of doing it now. So that's 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that they found it educational, they found it insightful, and they know from us it is something that's easily done. Obviously, it could
easily.
Well, I don't want to break the illusion that we do things easy, but you know what I mean? It's easy enough to start the ball rolling.
Yeah. It's an easy thing to start to learn.
Yes.
It's really easy. You record some stuff and you send it to Adam. Simple.
Maybe I should start doing that. That'll make things really easy.
Watch my Twitter feed. That's the entertainment for the evening. You pack of bastards.
Now you can send your podcast to Grufflock at Twitter.
No, I mean, there's a serious point there. Because I do the talking bit, but I don't do the editing bit. And it's something I really need to do because it's not an insurmountable hurdle. I mean, you taught Slick in, a few hours?
Yeah.
You know, it is something that maybe we do need to kind of take more ownership over what we're doing. The problem then, of course, is that if you've got a network, you need all the shows to kind of have the same quality.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to kind of keep an eye on that. And then if you've got, multiple hands in the honeypot, so to speak, it gets messy.
That's what I've always said. I'm always around if somebody wants some info or some short trick that I've learned over the years.
Yeah.
I just wonder if maybe next year we break it down into two different things.
Mm-hmm.
We break it down almost into a show where it's just 45 minutes of entertainment and then 15 minutes of questions.
Yeah.
But we've also got a kind of hands-on, almost like Kat's colouring panel, where you sit down with the projector and the computer and say, this is how I would edit something. I've got a file here that's been imported from whatever, and this is how I do it. And you sit down for like half an hour, and people just ask you questions as you go through it.
Because the problem with that is it could be a bit dry for...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You do two things.
Yeah.
One is educational, and the other one is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're covering both bases. Perhaps you do the entertainment one first and the education one after. So you kind of pimp out the, hey, if you want to do this and you want to watch me edit this, it'll be boring, but I'll be doing it tomorrow between these times.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah,
and then you get rid of the kind of the people who just want to have a laugh, which is nothing wrong with that. But the people who are seriously thinking about it then get a taste for how to do it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. But, that's something for us to discuss off air in more depth. So I don't want this to go on too long, so I'll just quickly ask this very simple question. Highlight of doing the panel for you, Mr. Matt?
The fact that I managed to get the audience to participate for the most part. I mean, come on, AKA. And the fact that everybody blinking started shouting the AKA. Whether they listened to the show or not, I do not know. But the fact everybody chipped in, that was just hella fun.
One of the proudest moments of my life.
And then the fact that we got everyone to go, Chokay! As well. I mean, that was cool.
Yay.
I don't normally get the chance to do either of that because, of course, I'm the sort of stand-in guy for most podcasts. But the fact that I got to do that myself gave me a little bit of empowerment as well.
An off-the-cuff joke 3 years ago is still hanging around.
Welcome to my shows.
It's been a while since we've done a Siegfried one. Neat untidy.
That wasn't Siegfried, that was Smolder.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, Smolder. Which kind
Smolder.
of moved over to Siegfried.
Because Siegfried is Smolder.
That is for button.
That
is not my bird. It is for button.
I was disappointed we didn't see Wheeljack. I want the greatest hits.
No, I mean, just to go back, just the whole interaction thing, the fact that we blinking managed to get Dave to get up in the middle at one point, the fact that we got the Iconic Reviews guys, and they were genuinely bricking themselves going up to the podium, going up because they had no idea what was going on. The fact that we had all of that going on, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Everybody got a bit of a spotlight moment at the end of the day. So those are the two things I loved about it. And the fact that we got through and it was popular.
Yeah. I think that's probably the thing that shook me the most is the fact that no longer were there numbers that I don't even look at the numbers anymore, but there weren't numbers. These were actual people.
Yep.
And it terrifies me that people actually listen to anything I say. That ain't right. Chucky, your favourite, your highlight of the panel.
Just as you say, people came.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of my only concern about the entire thing, because I don't mind sitting in front of people and talking to them. My concern was that there'd be 8 people on stage and 6 in the audience.
Yeah,
that was the great worry, and it was nice that kind of. I mean, we all went to Andy's review to kind of support him, and likewise, a lot of people who possibly didn't need to come to this one came and supported other people.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think we're telling Chris McFeely how to podcast.
No.
But it was nice that he was there. Likewise, Dave. Dave didn't need to be there. He'd been running around all weekend. But no, it was really nice that he was there. And, very entertaining. So, yeah, I mean, I'd like to kind of encourage more people to kind of come along next year. Because it's a great place to say hello to people. Because you're not left guessing, is that Rob? Is that Mikey? I'm not entirely sure. They've literally been introduced to you. And, you can then pop up afterwards and ask any questions you want.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. For me, the highlight was Rob getting the largest round of applause of everybody. You've never seen a man look so uncomfortable and squirm.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
You tried to crawl out of his hair.
I don't remember. All I remember is the white, hot feet. But then before I let you two go, then I will ask you another question, just to finish this off. Your favourite AA memory of this year?
Oh, I think it had to be Jake, who was the newbie in every sense of the word. I mean, it was his first auto assembly, came with his girlfriend, who obviously now we've gone to socialise with quite a bit now in the days since auto assembly. But Jake, having been brought back over to the table by Amy, absolutely full of astonishment by the fact that I think it was Alex Milne. He got to see Alex Milne, and he was absolutely full of astonishment. Jim, there was a gentleman in a cowboy suit who, for about most of the weekend, was pretty much at the table with us and others, but for the vast majority of the time at this point, he was with us. He was there chatting to us and just being a normal guy, even though he's dressed in a cowboy suit and cowboy boots and all that stuff. Jake sits down. They're telling us their story, and he's saying, "Oh my god, it was Alex Milne. I mean, I can't believe I actually saw him." And I was like, "Oh, that's nothing. You see that gentleman in the cowboy suit? That, my friend, is Jim Sorensen, co-writer of the Transformers Animated All-Spark Almanac." And the look on Jake's face, because this is the guy he just spoke to and socialised with for about a day. It was like the creeping realization. His eyes widened in realization, and his head slowly moved towards Sorensen. And then they widened even more, and that face will stick in my mind as my one big happy moment of AA. Because it was cool. There was a kind of innocence behind it that it's very, very rare in the fandom these days.
Yeah.
That will stick with me. That's my overriding memory. Of course, there was various things involving Mikey, Mikey in his harem, but that's for another podcast altogether. Usually one that's X-rated.
Mr. Mark. Because I love it when you go a little bit, when I say that.
I'm old. I shouldn't use my real name anywhere. There's so many I could pick, but the one that kind of meant the most to me was on, I think it was Monday mornings when we were preparing to leave. And Mr. Moman came up to me and basically said, I'm sorry I've been following you around all weekend, but I hope it was okay. And I was looking at him saying, I was going to say exactly the same thing to you. Because that's the thing that kind of always bothers me about AA, is that I'm really aware that I'm kind of following the same people around all the time. And it's difficult. I mean, I made a conscious effort this year to kind of talk to more people and to kind of spend time with other people. But I do always kind of come back to, hey, what's Matt doing? Hey, what's Andy doing? Hey, where's Grufflock? He's usually fun.
I will briefly chip in to say that one of my favourite things that I'm really, really proud that I did was I got to know Rob and Becca more.
Yeah.
Because up until pretty much last year, they were just the guys off of Old All House, you know. Socialised with them, but I didn't think I'd actually become friends with them. And I think this year I became friends with the pair of them because we got chatting and we got to know each other a little bit more. And by the end of it, I had a nice long hug off of Rob. You know, because like Sunday morning having a nice little heart-to-heart with one another and stuff. You know, the fact that I've actually come away with this, like, with stronger friendships with people, there's something to be said about that.
Well, it seems to be a lot of things that people have said this year. That is what this year has been. It has been solidifying relationships and, in some cases, sort of refocusing what the relationship means. I think that's quite interesting.
What was your favourite bit, Adam?
You'll have to hear the first part of this show to hear that. Because I've already answered.
Okay.
Probably involving a horn.
No, actually, I'll get quite serious earlier on in the show. I don't know why I'm saying that. I get quite serious earlier on in the show because you've already heard it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, anyhow, so we are going to call this done. Thank you very much, guys, for jumping on.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And we now finish off with a little random snippets of stuff that were pre-recorded at AA. So I hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. I'm actually sitting here waiting for the Perrys to say bye.
I know.
Bye, Tricky. Bye, Adam.
La 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 sound. How does it go?
Annie, talk. I think we're okay.
I can come closer if needed, but everyone else seems to be really far away, so...
I think you're alright.
You think I'm alright, okay. That's possible.
You're alright.
That's just my review, Jen.
For articulation.
Out of what?
Come on, say that.
If it's 4 out of like 3,000, then I'm really far.
It's 4 out of B.
That makes sense.
You're a B plus.
Yeah.
Oh, B4.
B4.
You sank my battleship.
Right. Hello and welcome to the return to the scavenger hunt. Scavenger Hunt 2, The Revenge.
Boogaloo.
Yes, every single show.
Oh,
so what we've got is now the list in front of me. Tricky's got a bag.
Under each eye.
Mine as well. Get your bags out of my eyes. Your big black bags. Anyhow, so now we're going to go through the list and see if he has completed it to our satisfaction. As usual, I'm your host, and there of course is the man with the bags.
Hi, it's Tricky.
And we've got 2 people here to help me out. The first one being...
Oh, hi, Mrs. Robimus.
And...
Andy. Over Cabana, GFW.
Don't laugh.
Mikey would be with us, but he's with his harem right now.
Oh, he's loving it. Piles of women for my feet.
kind of just laugh now. It's just like, I am being treated well. I have slept well every night.
Without disturbance.
Please kill me. Right, so, shall we begin the list?
I think so.
Okay, so the first on the list is a Revenge of the Fallen Ravage.
No, good night. Now we found a couple of these. One in a box that was ridiculously priced, and one that was loose that was £8.
How much was he in the box?
I want to say 10. So I just went, it's an awful toy. I'm not buying that. I honestly thought we'd find them. There's loads of sound waves.
I was talking to Bob.
Bob?
No.
Bob.
I was talking to Bob, and apparently there was a Legend version of it, but it never released over here.
Ah, okay.
So that's why.
Yeah.
I'll try to find that for you. Okay, so Revenge of the Fallen Ravage is a no-go.
It's a no-go.
But that's understandable. The idea was to.
I think, yeah, the idea isn't to tick everything off on the list, it's to try and tick everything off on the list.
It's the adventure, not the destination.
Exceedingly.
Exceedingly good cakes.
Can you tell we didn't have much sleep last night?
Or ever. I don't remember before there was the hotel. Okay, so the second thing on the list, anything from Toy Food?
Yes, I've got loads of stuff from Tofu, so tick that one off and we'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay, should we just come back to the end?
Yep.
Next one, a Scramble City Combiner from parts that aren't a that's a bag of parts. And there isn't a single torso in there.
There's no torso here. We have
That's impressive.
we have stuff supplied by Mr. Mumman, which isn't technically Scramble City.
True.
We have a knockoff Devastator. I'm assuming I can use these. These are not torsos.
No, they're not. But they're also not Scramble City.
They're not.
So, I defer then to my two cohorts here. Is he allowed to use the Devastator?
Ooh. It was pretty specific saying Scramble City though.
Yeah.
Well, I took it to mean a Scramble City style combiner. Oh.
Thank you for that scientific.
I flipped a coin. I thought it was like heads yes, tails no.
Go on. We shall allow the Devastator.
Right, so we're allowing the use of the parts, so I'm now going to build this whilst we finish this podcast.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Next list.
Next one is a Rocklord.
A Rocklord. Surprisingly not.
Really?
Yeah, I got 4 Rocklords for about £2 last year.
Yeah.
This year, the only ones I could find were on Domstall, and they were
the rare ones, so
Yeah.
it's like hookshot and stuff, all in the stomach, so they were like £8, which isn't bad for them, but not
for these purposes, yeah. So no.
Okay, so that's
surprising.
I was really shocked. As I say, last year there was a bot. Tofu did.
Tofu had loads last year.
Tofu did say that somebody came up and said, "I want all your Rocklords." Possibly.
Or is Jai here and just hasn't told anyone?
He did give me the piece of joy that where I walked up to. Unfortunately, Ralph wasn't there, but I don't know who I was talking to. But I just walked up and said, "Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for a powerful living rock." He seemed pleased, and yet sad that he couldn't sell me one.
That would have actually been Toy Food himself.
Yeah, possibly.
Next up, Armada Minicons.
Armada Minicons. Digging through my big bag of shit. Nope, they're not Minicons. There's something else for later. Armada Minicons.
Now, if memory serves me right, we added a little display on this to see if
These are all from Tofu.
Are any of them from Armada though?
I don't know. They're all Minicons.
They're Minicons, but
I don't think any of them are from Armada.
Oh, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Yes.
He is from Armada.
Is he?
He's the original version of that mold, the one that came with Predacon.
I don't even remember.
The repaint of Beast Wars Megatron.
Oh, right.
Transmetal Megatron.
Oh, that kind of counts then.
Yeah. The rest of them are all the brand new ones that were made for that 12-pack.
Jesus.
So
okay,
we'll allow it though because there is one.
Yeah.
you did manage to get one, so.
I did have a moment of terror there.
Same
We got
here.
Minicons all right. Yep. So
Are they part of the 12 pack?
yeah.
I haven't seen this before. I thought they were. Yeah.
Well, there's a 12-pack and a 16-pack.
I do have an Armada Minicon upstairs because I bought a Hot Shot.
Ah.
I just didn't bring him down.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's been taken.
He's
Why are you just standing there?
it's late. I'm just tired. I forgot what it's called. He's been linked to his rot, which is called Power Linking.
Yes.
Yes, Power Linked. So he's
Was it? Did you bought that to remind yourself never to watch Armada again?
Yes, public service announcement. Never watch all of Armada in one sitting. It's bad for your health.
Next up, we've got the Lead Bird book and cassette.
Yes, we do.
Yay! Robots as well.
We have.
Oh, hang on.
I know. I've just realised it's not Ladybird, is it?
Tempo. Oh, do we allow that?
I think it should be allowed because it's GoBots.
It's in the spirit of.
Yeah.
No.
You're just going against everything I say.
No, it's the coin.
Yeah, but I'm reading
But
the coin. It's like evil.
what we have here is the champions of Lixil with the challenge of the GoBots.
How closely connected are the two companies?
I think you need to understand, Andy. We have robots on the cover of this book who are wearing ice skates.
That is true.
Also, it's still sealed in its packaging.
Yeah.
Rather than being loose and
Oh,
just thing, so...
This is, well, I wouldn't say mint in box. It's in box. It's ib.
To be honest with you, that is to GoBots what Lady Bird is to GoBots.
I think so.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be sent to
I
Ralph.
would allow it as well.
Good man. Good man.
I'm going to send this to Jay and say, leave this in his house somewhere.
Next up, we've got the colouring book.
A colouring book? No.
No?
No. I probably could have found one, but books were kind of too near the pond.
Right.
I'm leaving that there.
Okay. Number 8, moving on quickly. Human Alliance Basic Humans.
I didn't see any humans.
No?
No. I've been digging through boxes of Taff all morning, and there's loads of Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Loads of Beast Wars. But no, sadly, no Human Alliance. I think Rob might have it all.
You got all the Human Alliance, Rob?
Yeah, I'm probably sending it all to the Rod because I know he's using it.
Is he doing a straight swap for Legends?
He needs to switch Right, next up, a GoBot.
A GoBot. Right, thanks to Paul Sugarbear Logan Blaze Anderson, we have a GoBot.
How the hell do you miss that?
I'm tired. I'm tired and emotional. We have a vintage, original. What the fuck is this called? It's a GoBot Command Center. Which is incomplete. Nope, that is definitely a GoBot. It has a face and everything.
Oh my god, does it have a face?
Yes.
The face of doom.
GoBot.
It's got to stand underneath it.
It is a majestic thing that I see before. A majestic and beautiful thing.
I think so. My wife's going to go nuts.
What's that for? Is that to replace the cats?
It's for the cats.
Same size as the cats. Next up, a Frankenstein bot.
A Frankenstein bot, right. Okay, this was a bit of a challenge, shall we say. But I give to you from hell's darkest depths.
That is awesome!
One Frankenstein bot.
Does he actually stand up?
Well, is he a good toy? Would be the question.
Does he transform?
No.
Does he have a commode mode?
Does he have a commode mode? I give you 2 Frankenstein bots.
Oh my god.
He looks in pain.
I've never seen anything so painful.
I give you 3 Frankenstein bots.
That's camp.
Well, it's based on the Commander Star screen.
Yeah.
It's never going to be anything but camp. So, I give you 3 Commander Frankensteins.
That's
You've done that one,
impressive, yeah.
You've certainly done that one. Exceeded my expectations.
3 commanders.
Yeah? Didn't say deluxe.
They're scouts.
Whatever.
Is that okay?
Those are scouts.
It didn't stipulate.
Okay, is that you only needed the one?
It just says a Frankenstein bot.
Okay, that's fine.
You did well.
Oh no!
Right, next up, a hat.
A hat. No, I didn't get a hat. There was too many hats anyway.
Is that why you wanted me to bring down my hat?
Maybe.
Now, I think I know what the answer to this one's going to be.
Yeah.
Number 12, Headmaster hats.
The only Headmaster head I saw was the Zarek, which I do want, but I'm not paying 30 quid for. So, no, sorry Daniel, I'm not buying any heads.
The closest I actually saw... The closest I saw to something from the Headmaster head was the third-party ones.
Yeah, there were those. Nothing about, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next up, an Animorph.
I didn't see any Animorphs. This was given to us, of course, by Jim Sorensen.
Yes.
Who just swaggered in here, said, yeah, find me an Animorph. Can't find them anywhere.
No.
To be fair, couldn't recognise one if I fell over it. So
you heard that here, folks. Tricky would like you to send him your Animorphs.
Adam, look at the tat on this table. Do you think I'm going to turn down any toy that's sent to me?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want you to have an animal collection. I want you to be the only person I've ever met who collected animals. Alright, next up. A chrome toy with intact chrome.
Yeah, this came from Plume, didn't it? The closest I got was this little chap,
Nice.
who is of course Skybite, but he's not intact. He's got a little chippage. Little chippage. I did buy an Octane, but again he's still a little bit warm. So
Do we allow that little bit of chippage, or do we say it is not an intact piece of chrome?
Thing is, it just says the chrome toy intact.
Does
it
intact chrome?
It's
Within
I'm letting
our
fate
intact
decide,
chrome,
Tricky, and fate is not in your favour so far.
hasn't been so far. Yeah, 37 years so far.
We walk on TF Wiki and say, McFeely, is this allowed?
Well, there are many pieces of intact chrome on the card. I'm not going to come in and just say no, because it's going to get me off to a bad start, so I'll rule it in.
Oh, do we allow this piece of intact to be intact chrome?
I would say yes on the condition that Tricky pleads his case in a haiku.
I would say no because he's actually missing bits on his on the top as well.
Rob, I can't even count to 13 at the moment.
So we've got 2 no's and 2 yeses. The only way we'll allow this is if Tricky now gives us a haiku.
I can't get a haiku at this point. I would love to, but no.
Sorry to say that.
Shark toy. It will not go. Head here. Not
That's close enough, it's allowed.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Right, number 15.
Number 15.
A complete Micromaster team.
Yes, we're a complete Micromaster team. We have, from the bowels of the 2004, 3 series, a complete team of Micromasters.
That would be the Military Patrol.
It would indeed.
Which means...
But can you name them?
No.
You see, you should be able to because 2 of these have the best names ever.
Yeah?
I might be able to name 2 of them.
Anyone?
Big Shot.
Big Shot. Swiftly followed by Flak! Flak!
Aye.
Flak.
Who are the others?
Anybody? Sunrunner.
I always want to say it's Drop Shot.
No, not Drop Shot.
Aye.
Yes.
I also present to you a Micromaster base.
Nice one.
Nice touch.
I believe so.
Well, you have surpassed that one, my friend. Next up, we have an 80s toy that is non-Transformers, non-He-Man.
Yes.
He-Man.
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 The master of the universe.
Yes, I believe you've already met my friend.
Good man.
GoBot Command Center.
Okay, number 17. This is where it's going to get a little bit metaphorical. Number 17 is an Imperator victim.
An Imperator victim, yes. Now, as we have the wiki here with us,
Yeah.
Mr. McFeely, in your opinion, who would be the Imperator victims? What would we class as an Imperator victim?
Well, you mean guys with one eye?
Well, is that the designation?
Guys who cut their head lopped off.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I present to you a Creo Microchange Combiner, Wave 2, Lugnut.
That'll do, mate.
It seems spacious to me.
No, I'm happy with that.
I was looking for a sunspot. Just to have the argument, I was Smoke Jumper. I was Skystalker, but this fucker owns them all. I owned them all. Matt's got them all now.
That's probably something.
Yeah, I think he has now. Yeah.
Oh my god, we collected and herded them and then let them
There you go, Rob. Go back.
It's very simple. But me and Matt suffered from a little complicated disease called troop building.
No, but why build something that's not a troop?
They look like troops.
But that's only because you this
Best type of troops. Surprise ones. Right, next up, we've got number 18, a chrome dome missing his left arm.
Oh, right. I've left this in my room.
Okay.
Have you seen Mr. Milne's, Mr. Roche's sketch of the aftermath of?
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Exactly where you're at.
Yes, we have Swerve's Bar, we have Desolation, and we have a Chrome down in the foreground. He has one arm. How does he smell?
Terrible. And then finally, we have a license plate from Sweden.
Because Mikey's a dick.
Yes.
No. In fact, Adam, I commission you £1 to draw me a license plate from Sweden. That's horrifically racist.
There we go. There you have a license plate from Sweden. It says Sweden on it. The license number is 23186, and it was made by Herding.
Should it not have been like...
York, Spork. Right, so the final thing we're going to do now is say the Scramble City Combiner made from parts that aren't a torso.
Yeah.
The limbs only combiner. Can we get this to work?
What's the designation of work? Does it just freestand?
Yep, it has to be a combiner that stands under its own power. Now, that will allow it to not be picked up. It has to stand and not fall apart.
He banned me for using hot glue. I hate when these just click. I need to get arms on this, yeah.
Arms and a head.
See, it's always the women with the little head.
Not touching that sentence with the badge, bro.
Definitely not.
Well,
he's making it up as he goes along. He's just got limbs.
Earlier that it was fine.
Yeah, he touched the crown and everything. This isn't going well. I need a solid base.
No concentration. Annihilation.
Desolation.
Masturbation.
It
Annihilation.
wasn't about your hobbies.
Defecation. The human race.
That seems like some back to front.
Help me. I want to die.
He would appear now.
Right, I think time's up.
Alright.
So,
It's a fail.
that one hasn't worked.
I'm afraid so. It was a... I can do it, just not in the time frame.
Right, can I have a countdown, please, from 10 to see? Time it out.
10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beep.
Ah, well.
So, no, the Scramble City idea has not.
Failed.
So, out of 19, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Hey!
11 out of the 19 items.
Do you know what, Adam? More than that. I had fun.
We
recap the ones he did there for me?
Yep. He did not find a Revenge of the Fallen Ravage.
Well, I found one. I chose not to buy it for the price.
Yeah. Could not make a Scramble City combiner using only limbs. Could not find a Rocklord for a reasonable price.
Yeah, which is surprising.
Could not find a colouring book.
Well, I didn't look that hard for a colouring book, to be honest.
No Human Alliance basic humans.
That I found, no.
Did not find a hat.
Didn't look that hard for a hat.
Could not get a Headmaster head. Well,
Chose not to buy it.
Yeah, dropping 30 quid for Headmaster head would be silly. Could not find an Animorph.
No. Could not find one in a boat. Could not find one in a moat.
And that was it. Not bad at all. Thank you very much for the
I assume this robot was part of the hunt, was it?
Oh yes.
Just checking.
But perhaps more importantly, I sold 40 quid's worth of Power Rangers shit on Thursday, Friday night, and I've given at least that, if not more, to Tofu.
Good man. Good man.
So I think it's a moral victory.
Yep. Well, yeah, any money that goes towards Tofu is automatically money well spent. Yeah. So. Right then, guys, we're going to get out of here and we're going to go and abuse Andy in the swimming pool. So we will see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, so I've been asked to record a little bit of a blurb at the end of the show here. For those people who didn't go to Auto Assembly, what their experiences would be and what my experiences were. Screw you guys. Gonna make my own auto assembly with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget about the auto assembly. It was a boring weekend. Very boring. Gotta go next year. Definitely gotta go next year. Yeah, next year.